Good morning, guys. Welcome to my channel. As I said to those of you who were watching yesterday, I just stopped the camera and I'm just picking straight back up. So I think we'll get this green in place on my little stitchery, and I'm thinking I might use this variegated thread. I've never usually worked a lot with variegated threads, but they've joined my collection and I'm actually really enjoying them, especially when you're doing a lot of dense foliage. You're sort of getting that beautiful color change. That's the needle for a bead. So let's go back to this big guy. No, it's even smaller. Yeah, so the color changing aspect of the thread's really quite fun. It's sort of, but I must say it depends on how quickly it changes. So you can see, where's a piece of paper? You can see, where's my notebook? Maybe you can see it. Here we go. You can see that the color changes pretty quickly. My husband's outside and we've got a camera out there that picks up movement. We put it in place after we had the break-in. I've just put my phone on silent. I think that should stop that bing bong. So he's out doing some gardening and it'll constantly be bing bonging as he passes the front door. You know those ones where if someone comes to your front door, it gives you a little notification? It's one of those. So you can see from that point to that point is only about 6 inches. So I like this one because it changes reasonably quickly. Some of them you sort of need to be a bit wary that they change quick enough, because you might find you'll stitch your whole piece or your whole flowers and it's barely adjusted. So just something to think about. How am I going to stitch this? I might do stem stitch. Let's get this around so it's more comfortable for me. So my husband's just coming back inside, so I do apologise if you hear a door clanging. Okay, so yeah, I'll do stem stitch. I've said before I'm not a lover of stem stitch. I never was as a kid because it seemed to be the stitch. It was either blanket stitch or stem stitch when you were doing doilies. And it just never seemed to sit right. But as I've matured, I find that I can get it to sit right. And I honestly think it had a lot to do with the threads I was using. Often they were just the cheap threads you'd get in a little stitchery as a kid. So when I'd take my little stitchery on holidays and Grandma might be there to oversee my progress and teach me a few things, it just would never sit right. So I was forever undoing it. It might have been the mind of a child too, possibly. So who knows? Could have been pre-getting glasses too. So it could have even been just a case of my needle was not tucking in nicely. You sort of got to, you've got to get your needle just under the previous stitch, where I was probably out a little bit. Therefore my stem stitch would always look jagged. That could have been either the mind of a child stitching, or I was yet to find out in later years that I actually needed glasses. So could have been a combination. I know Grandma was just never happy with it. She was lovely, but she was encouraging. Okay, so that's that little stem done. I might be able to scoot down to here and pick up this little stem. It's only going to be a couple stitches. And then I'm going to scoot back up here and try and do 2 little stitches. It's called slow stitch for a reason. There you go. I do have a chance to put a little petal there. I did draw it on that other side Yeah, I don't mind that. We'll continue with that original sketch. I might try and do it a little lazy daisy stitch. I don't have much thread left. So let's get that down. I might keep it loose-ish so we can see it's a daisy stitch. Yeah, that's good. Have I got enough to scoot across? Yeah, I do. I'm going to jump over to there on that first big threaded, big stem. Get a little stitch in there. I don't think I'm miserly with my threads. I am with fabric. It's shocking. Keep every little morsel, but so many times I'll be doing a project and I just need a little bit. Threads I'm not as bad, but fabrics. There we go. I do have another stem there, but can I start? I might do the little leaf over there, and then that'll do. Yeah, just enough for a little lazy daisy. A daisy stitch. And I'll finish it off and get a new thread. That's better. Okay. Next. You've probably watched the video that is telling you the project that I've pre-filmed for you guys while I'm away, and that is the Japanese rice bag, which I've stiffened the sides of to make a actual container that would store bits and pieces on my desk. So I plan to make a couple of them, but just in different themes. I'm thinking along the lines of making one that is bits and pieces from my Paris trip, so then it'll be forever on my desk as a bit of a memory. Well, as for memories, these scissors, these old girls here, they are my grandmother's dressmaking scissors. Now, when you watch the video, I think I get to like video 4 or something, and I realise that I don't have a white marker to put the Sashiko print onto some dark blue fabric. And so I'm filming along, and then I realise the problem I've got. I can't see. I've got brown pens, red pens, black pens. And I was sure I had some chalk, but it's like a big lump of chalk. But I didn't know if I had a chalk pencil. I have blue pens from the days of quilting, those washable blue pens that were everywhere. But a lot of those are probably dried up and no good. So the friction pens, I picked up a pack months ago from Officeworks here in Australia. And because there was multiple colours, they've just been handy. I love using them in my diary too, as I write in a video that's going to air. Because it's in those friction pens, at the end of the pen, where is one? Here it is. At the end of the pen is this little rubbery grommet. So when I write on paper, it just rubs out. So I can go to a date where I think a video is going in, change my mind, and it just rubs out. So no good if it went into a hot environment. Everything in the diary would probably disappear. So you have to be mindful that it's probably not suitable for a diary as such, but it's awfully handy for just a general plans for the week. So anyway, in the video, it dawns on me. You'll probably hear the penny drop. You will literally hear it drop. Well, in the video, I'm sure there's a chalk pencil down in the old Treadley sewing machine in my bedroom, down the back of the house, where I used to have my craft room. But it just was too small. It's just a small bedroom. So I stopped the video and I head down to the old Treadley to find, you know, these this chalk pencil, which I did, and it's only a little itty bitty guy. Gosh, now I've even lost it already. Anyway, I'm sure you know. There it is. That's it there. So it's tiny. Now this was in Grandma's sewing machine, so it was hers. And then in the process, I found her dressmaking scissors, and they are so sharp. They're old girls. They're showing a little bit of wear, but they're just, I brought them out. They're on my desk. I really could do with tightening that little screw. There's just a little bit of wobble there. So yeah, then just in case that didn't work, I was heading out and I went to Spotlight and I actually bought a white water soluble pen that you would use for that style of stitching. So I sort of felt a little bit better that I had something. Now I need to concentrate here. What am I doing? I'm going to do this little plant here, but do we bring in another colour? I feel like I could have a little pop of yellow, but it needs to be really soft yellow because I don't want yellow to be really on the piece that it's the first thing you look at. I might try this guy. Sometimes it helps putting a lighter, brighter tone, like a yellow, in somewhere. Might make it 3 strands. We can always change it if it doesn't look right, but I think having those few little yellow bits in here will bring the eye into this little image. And it's not too bright, it's more of a lemon. You've got to be a bit careful with colour. But I think it'll be okay. Unless we do just the little daisy stitch bits in yellow. So I've gone off on a tangent there. I can't even remember what my point was. I think my point was my grandmother's scissors are now in amongst my mess on the table. They'll stay until I get sick of pushing them out of the way because, you know, it's just another thing on my table and I have perfectly good scissors. But I'm having a moment, all right? I'm having a little memory moment. Okay, let's do all of the little daisy stitches. Yep, I like that, but we might even need to put the green stem on them just to tone it down again. They might look a bit too much. Let's see. Yes, that rice bag and that sashiko stitching, oh boy, was that good. And you know what I think I liked about it is I didn't have to think too hard. I just stitched. Now I have a panel that I purchased in amongst all my little grab that's Japanese, one day I'll play with it box. And the panel has been pre-printed with all of these, what do you call them? Cherry blossoms. So I've been looking at that since I finished filming, wondering, what could I do with that? And then I packed it away because I don't know, I didn't feel like doing them in blue or red or brown, and I thought, oh, that's a bit boring, and I sort of put it away. It was on my desk for about a week, and I thought, no, it's not time. And then a few days ago, Leanne from, where's my phone? Leanne's, oh, let me look it up. She's a fellow Australian YouTuber. She went to, I'll look it up while I tell you what Leanne was up to. She went to the big quilt fair that was in Melbourne last week. Leanne's Crafty Cupboard. So Leanne went to the quilt show and she picked up all sorts of treasures which she showcased in her video. And And in amongst it, she went to the shop that I bought the stencils from, East Meets West. Now, I bought them from Etsy online, and I've since gone back and bought a couple more which are in the mail for a future project one day. Anyway, Leanne pops up with her video of I've been to the quilt fair and showcased her haul, and East Meets West was there with their stand. And what caught her eye was this beautiful pink tones. It was a fat quarter that they'd put together for the show. And as soon as I saw it, I shot her a message and I said, I've got this panel kicking around that I just don't know. So this is the site, East Meets West. They're based in Sydney, but they went to this Melbourne quilt show, and they sell pre-printed panels, right? So I'll bring it up to the camera. They're all pre-printed in blues or browns. I think that's where I got my panel from. And then they sell all the threads. Now, Leanne bought 2 pink threads. From what I can see, it looked like old rose, and it looked like, let's go back, there was a paler pink, which I think is in this image. There, baby pink. I'm not 100% sure. I need to double check that, but it's sort of, and then she bought this pack of fabric. Gosh, I'm getting sidetracked. This is so typical. Let me just go through the site. See, these are the stencils. I ordered that stencil, and I ordered that stencil. These images you see everywhere. When you get onto Pinterest or even just Google, you'll see that stencil. There's another one. I think there was 4, and that one. So anyway, they come in 2 sizes. So you actually get 2 stencils for your money. This one stencil I already owned. When I used the chalk pen, it was really roughly cut out by some machine, and it just disintegrated my little chalk pencil. That was half my battle on the video. So it got all chalky and ruined, where the stencils from this company are laser cut beautiful. So you can confidently put your pen in there and it's not going to destroy the little nib. So I use that stencil in my video that starts on Thursday. There's 11 videos coming. See, they even have black, dark green cloth with the rabbits on it. This is not a paid advertisement, by the way. This is just me thinking about another project, and I'm really happy with their products. So, and that's my dragonfly stencil, which I use on the little bag or container. But Leanne picked up a pack of pinks. Now, they don't have the pack on their site, so I feel that it was something made up for. So there's all their fabrics. I've got a few of them. There's a pink there. So whether that was one of them, I'm not 100% sure. And as you get a bit further on, you can see another pink. Where is it? So I've got quite a few little things. There's another fabric, which is more of a dusty tone. So it could have even been based on these colours, not so much the brights. So there's another one and another one. But they have the word sheeting in their description. So that's why I need to touch base with them and find out what pack possibly it was, because it might be thicker fabric than sheeting. There seems to be 2 on their little site. So I'm sitting there watching Leanne's video of all her treasures she found at the big craft fair. I'm thinking, oh, that panel, maybe I do it in pinks. And then I was like, well, then I could bring in some pink fabrics in around it and try and make it look like it's all connected by bringing in different colours and of pink and the pink cherry blossoms. It sort of just works. And I think what's in my brain is, I think I've mentioned this before, I have friends currently on a riverboat cruise in Japan. They've been touring around. Yeah, I'm going to use that paler green, I think. I think it sort of works with the yellow. So they're touring around Japan, and they are there for the cherry blossom festival. So Japan is just full of cherry blossom trees. Beautiful. There's some there on that there. Absolutely gorgeous, some of the photos. So these bloomin' cherry blossoms are in my brain. Leanne pops up with fabrics from the very company that I had just ordered additional stencils. I have this panel that I'm not sure what I want to do with. I've fallen in love with this sashiko stitching, and I'm sort of between projects a little bit. My Roxy will just carry on. That's my standard project at the moment. But I've finished my peacock. I've finished the rice bag. So I'm just wondering if I should do something with this panel. So that's what's rolling around in my head. I had a panel of Jessie Chorley's last year when I kicked off my channel, and each week I just picked an area and stitched it and embellished it with my Corrine style. But the printed panel was pre-printed. You've probably seen the series, or you're working through it yourself, because a few of you decided to have a go at it. But Jessie Chorley, she's an English textile artist. She prints the panels, and then you buy them and stitch them and embellish them if you're so inclined. She doesn't do a lot of embellishing. She's more about the couching of different threads in, but she does do little patches of fabric like that here and there. So I'm very familiar with that style of work, and this panel that I'm doing is pretty much nothing's printed. It's just a panel, and away we go using the Roxy prompts as our guide. So I'm thinking that this cherry blossom panel might be my next little project. So at the moment, that's what's mulling around in my brain. I'm sure once I get on that cruise, what am I saying, on that tour and get into France, 50 other million projects will pop into my brain. But I think I'm going to do something. I need to reach out to that company and find out what fabric they put together in the pack that Leanne picked up. It might have been just a show thing. They often do that at shows. They don't take bolts of fabric with. They put together easy grab, you know, so you can sort of just come along and pick them up. I've got heaps of pink thread, so I wouldn't need to buy the cotton. Having said that, the cotton, they tell me, is beautiful to stitch with. And I guess it would be a way of testing the cotton that they use for the projects. Apparently it slides through the fabric really easily. It's beautiful to work with. I do have a white one and I saved it. I didn't use it in the little rice bag project because I just felt like I needed to hang on to it, and I wanted a cream thread on my little bag. So it's still there. So yeah, that's what's rolling in the brain at the moment. No commitments yet on what I will do with it. I need to keep thinking. That's half the fun. I like taking time to think through projects. So I'm just, now I've finished my stem stitch there on that little piece. I'm now just coming over here to do this little guy. Then I'll come back with that yellow and pop the little lazy daisies on the end of it. I think they come up nicely. And have a think about what I do the bird pond in. If I do it in a brown or a... I'm going to try and get that last one out of the remaining thread. It's probably not long enough, especially once I knot it. Yeah, I don't think it will be. Okay. So So thanks, Leanne. After watching your video, I fell down another rabbit hole that I was sort of just climbing out of. It's always the way. It's good, but because we just can't get everywhere. And when the girls from down Melbourne way go to an event in their city that won't be up this way, it's like, oh, there's a company I've bought from them. That's a lovely pack that they've picked up, or a pattern. There was another pattern that Leanne showed too. You'll have to watch a video. I will link it below so you can head over to her channel and watch that video. It was a pattern called, oh goodness me, I should get my facts right. I think it's like dandelions. There's circles, layers of circles cut out of felt on a cushion, and then lots of embroidery that they look like those dandelions that when you blow them, they just puff, they're gone. That's the pattern. I had a look at that too. And they sell the kit, which, like Leanne said, it wasn't cheap. And she's right, it's up there, but the beauty, as Leanne said, it's all cut out. The circles are cut, ready for you to go. So that in itself is worth something. And then the pattern, I think, was $20. So if you had your own felt and your own colour ideas, you could just buy the pattern, which is also pretty good too, because it's, you know, gives you some options. So I had that in the shopping basket at one point, and then I'm like, Corrine, just stop. You do not need a dandelion cushion. But it was so pretty. You'll know what I mean when you go and watch the video. Really, really pretty. I said to Leanne that I'm so coming to that event next year. So I think it'll be a road trip down to Melbourne. I want to check out where Christine goes to, from Christine, her channel, and she reviews a lot of her Etsy shares, and she has this place where she goes to get materials that are sort of offcuts and things from industries around Melbourne, textile industries and that. So I'd love to go to one of those outlets, and I'd love to catch up with Christine. We've become crafty little chums. So yeah, it's lovely when some of the Aussie girls show what's around, because you start to think there's not much, but if you can watch some fellow stitchers, you'd be surprised what others have. And the world of the internet allows us to, you know, where'd my yellow cotton get to? There it is. So I've finished the 3 stems there. So I'm just going to grab this cotton. You can hear my phone buzzing. You can hear my washing machine buzzing. It was buzzing in the last video. I'm still washing. A day has gone by for you guys, but only a couple of hours has gone by me. So I'm washing. It's Friday for me, probably Monday for you guys. Okay, so now I'm just working my way back in to this. There we go. Where's my channel, my phone? Just want to... Okay. I'm just going back to YouTube. I just want to tell you Christine's exact name for her channel. I got so used to just referring to her as Christine that I said create craft with Christine. So if you're a Melbourne girl and you're wanting to get supplies, tune into Christine. She's doing a thrifting every Thursday type video at the moment. So she'll give you some hot tips of where you can go to get some really reasonably priced supplies in the Melbourne city. Long way from me, but some of them sometimes have websites. So the last find she got, Christine, you are a legend. You know how we're all using these woolen mats you can iron on them. These things here, they're compressed felt or wool, and you iron on them. They come in different sizes. They're currently in stock now at Spotlight, but prior to that you could pick them up at quilt stores because they were sort of specialty type items. But Spotlight's in on the act now, of course, and you can buy them in different sizes from them. But Christine went to the recycle place of fabrics and textiles, and she picked up 2 mats that have come from some form of manufacturing that are made pretty much of the same thing. They bloomin' look like it. And cheap as chips. I think she got her whole haul for $10. So I think I paid close to $70 for my mat. And she got 2 that look very similar in size, a pale grey. And they sit together now on a desk. And she's got a fantastic area to poke her needles and pins into. And, you know, exactly what I'm using. So that was a hang of a find. Good work, girl. Good work. So if you are in Melbourne and you haven't yet got one of those mats, I'd probably go and review that video that Christine posted last Thursday. I'll link it below as well. So the 2 girls that did some shopping will be below, Leanne and Christine, and you can have a little look and it'll just give you, you know, maybe some new ideas, maybe some new supplies. Can't hurt, especially if you can save a few dollars. Okay, well, now I've got a hang of a mess. I'm surprised I got that far with talking and stitching. It had to have gone pear-shaped sooner or later. Oh, that washing machine. Geez, I hope it's not bugging us. It's like this thing down the end of the hallway screaming at me. Okay, so I might do, I think I probably can get 1 or 2 more. I'll just do this little guy. And this little guy. And that'll be the end of that thread. Yep. So let's knock that off. I like it. That little soft yellow is really pretty there. Look, I'm gonna stop the video, go and turn that washing machine off because it's stressing me out. You guys probably can't even hear it, but I can. It stopped. I think it goes for like a minute beeping and then it gives up. So it stopped. It's all good. Carry on. Okay. Another little bit. This yellow is 744. If you're interested, it's a pretty little one to have in your collection. It must be a fairly new colour too. It's like a soft lemony tone, DMC stranded cotton. I'll just check that message that comes through. Sorry guys, got some messages coming through from some staff, so I just want to make sure they're okay, and they are. All right, so we're on to our next little sprig. I probably could have even made these a soft purple, like lavender. Oh well, I don't mind what I've got. Won't hurt to have a little bit of colour popping in there just to draw the eye in a little bit. This is riveting viewing, isn't it? Maybe I should go on to another flower. Oh, it won't take me long to finish these. There we go. It's a classic stitch, old Lazy Daisy, isn't it? If you didn't learn this as a kid, I'd be very surprised. It's one of those easy stitches for kids. Often pre-printed fabrics or pre-printed projects. You'd have to find Lazy Daisy in there. There's some pretty versions of it around now where you don't connect the bottom of the stitch together. It's open. I used that on Percy the peacock. It sort of gave a feathery look, a little Y in the air for a dandelion. It's a very pretty stitch. Okay, so that little guy is done. All right, jump over to this little fellow. What colour are we going to make our pussycat? Here. Ginger cat, a black cat, brown cat, like fudge, my cat. Casper's cream, so that's not going to show up too well on my panel. So it won't be a Casper. Could be a fudge. Little brown cat. Yeah, let's do a fudgy. Seeing he visits regularly. We might as well stitch him into the panel. He's been through here before. Okay. There we go. So as I said, it's my Friday. And I think I filmed one video already. What's the time now? The day is wearing on. It's 11:30 in the morning. So I filmed one video, had breakfast. Then I went out and did a few chores in the garden. Well, that's code for goosed around with Pepper and Bandit. I think I did pick up a few sticks, put them on a little bit of a bonfire thing we have down at the back of the block for all the sticks that fall off our gum trees. So I did do a few chores, and Bandit assisted pulling the sticks back out of the bonfire. So it was very efficient. And then I said to hubby, he was out there doing a few little tidy up jobs. I said to hubby, I'm going to go in and film another video today because it's just a lazy Friday, it feels like. It actually feels like it's Saturday. We had our breakfast and I said, gee, it feels like the weekend. Yeah, I like that. Let me zoom in. See how it's just subtle? Yeah, I like that. Why don't we stitch Fudge Cat in? Let's have a look at the browns. We could make him a caramelly colour, or we get brave and do a stronger brown. I don't know. That tree is very dark brown. I don't want him to look like a tree. Maybe we do a combination of the two. Give him brown whiskers, brown eyes, brown ears in the darker, but we make him, because he's a Burmese, so he's got a dark tail, a pale body, well, paler body, brown, and then, yeah, chocolate ears, chocolate face, chocolate tail. And the rest of him is a soft colour, brown. So let's do that. Let's give him, I'll start at his collar, which he doesn't have a collar at the moment. I don't know what happened with that collar. Seems to have disappeared off of his neck. He wrestles a bit with his brother, and collars tend to be just found randomly sitting around the place. Okay, so let's just whiz down there with this chocolate. It's a caramelly chocolate. It's crochet cotton, number 8, my go-to size. I'm going to come back up here. It's not technically the way to do it. Grandma would see that stitch and go, why have you not ended it off, then gone up the top to start again? because I'm lazy, Grandma. Okay, so we just whiz down the outer edge there. Not too big of a stitch, girl. I could have done him in like a little running stitch, but I want it to be a little bit more raised. So I think stem stitch is the way to go again, because there's a lot going on around him. And you want him to at least hold his own in amongst it. So there's the pussycat's body. Okay. All right, let's end that off. We'll go back up the top and we will do his head. Okay, come on, thread up. All right, so let's do his head in the same colour, but then we might look at his ears. Being the chocolate, the dark, slightly darker chocolate. Okay. All right. And then over to this way. Coming back down. It's a bit fiddly. Tiny little head up there. That's better. So we come back. And down we go. That was a big stitch. My goodness me. It's all right. So there's his body. So let's end that off. Now, just for fun, I'm going to get the darker thread. It'll be only me that ever knows the reasons why I've changed the thread colours on that cat. It's because I'm attempting to showcase the fudge. All right, let's have a go at these little chocolate ears. It's going to look quite odd, I'd say, but I'll give it a go. Let's get his little ears. A couple little stitches should do that. Like, no one's ever going to even notice there's a change of colour there, I think. Yep, ears are done. Might be able to do his little whiskers because they're chocolate. Big whiskers. He's going to have very big whiskers. Oh my goodness. I should change my thread to a couple lesser threads, but doesn't matter. Look, it's a caricature anyway, isn't it? Oh, goodness, they're big. It works, they're big. I'm going to come across now to here and we'll do his tail. He's got a very long tail. So let's stem stitch this tail into position. What am I doing? Look at that. That's a mess. See that stitch there? I changed to the opposite side of the previous two. So it's put a kink in the pussycat's tail. Let me get myself positioned a bit better here. That's better. Now there's a bit of a swagger to this tail, so I need to get it to swing out and then swing back towards the base. So we got that movement in his tail. Oh, lost my thread. I've got no movement without my thread in my needle. Okay. It's a bit of a kink. Does that look bad? No, it'll be fine. Fudgy has a kink in his tail. It's very tall. Okay, so there's a fudgy tail. Looks like a stick in the garden, mind you. But anyway, I think we'll do his collar in pink or red. Red? Yeah, we've got a raspberry red thread here. Let's do his little collar and a bit of that. Gee, where's that hour gone? Now you can hear the dishwasher gurgling. So you can work out exactly what I'm up to today. I'm attempting to do minor housework, as in I've given it a thought and I might do something, and as much stitching as I can. All right, so let's get his little collar. So we've got another visitor to the garden. Fudgy's visiting. So let's put a little red collar on the pussycat. Yep, just a couple little stitches is all we need. Okay, and I might just keep that thread handy because we might use that elsewhere, because I probably cut off too much for 2 stitches. Oh, it's slow because we change colours all the time. Now, his nose and his eye, I really need some black thread, don't I? Mind you, he has yellow eyes. Black. Where's the black? Other than the 2 in my hand. Don't tell me I've run out of black. And now I need to wind a black onto... No, I'm sure I've got black. Let me go to the threads that I packed for this project. There it is. I was sure I had some. Yep. Just need a tiniest amount. And I'll do probably just a little French knot for his eye and nose. I don't think I'll do yellow eyes or anything like that. You can barely tell his tail is a different colour to his body, but we know. It's the thought that counts. I've just got 1 thread. I might do just a little bit of satin stitch up there on that nose first, just to get us that little bit of black, and we'll go from there. So if I do a knot, it'll look like a knot. Sometimes satin stitch in a small little space is all you need just to, yeah, that's enough. Okay. Might just do one more stitch into there. Yeah. Now let's have a go at this eye. I think I'll do just a simple knot, because you've got to think it's the actual eye is actually tiny, and you don't want it to overpower because we're using black. Bad enough his whiskers are huge. There we go. Tiny little eye and a tiny nose with massive whiskers and a huge tail. There we go. Fudge is in there and he's looking at those birds, which is be so him. Never seems to catch anything. Casper, on the other hand, he's better at it. He'll bring in the odd mouse. Fudgy, not so much. A lot of thought, but not much action. There we go. Now I might just turn on the iron and we will iron where we've been so we can get a clear view. Gosh, I've got a mess. Beads, and let me get this back in order here, guys, so that you guys can see. Put that black thread away. We won't need that again. Oh, don't you hate it when you buy a container and it's already not working? See this little rubber, this plastic grommet just doesn't stay underneath. It's like they've got the mold wrong. It just does the job. I got it from Craft. I was on holidays and I thought, I'm going to tidy my threads and I need a bigger container. So I drove all the way to Maryborough to get it because I was staying at Harvey Bay. And it's rubbish. Anyway, so I've turned on my iron. Now I'm just going to iron those flowers and the pussycat. It'll just give us a cleaner view. Now I've lost the side of the water feature, but that's okay. That could easily be turned into a fountain. We could add water bubbling up there. Where's my pen? Because I've actually ironed out the side of that. So let's bring that back in there. Might do the fountain next, or the water feature, the bird bath. How are we going for time? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's good. Happy with the yellow. It's not too bold, it's just subtle. So what colour will we do our fountain? Sort of now got to look at the whole thing. Do we use a wool? I used a wool on the beehive. Yeah, I think I might, you know. And do we couch it on? As in stitch it down and come back and... Where's all my needles? Sorry, didn't finish my sentence. I think I'm going to couch this on. For those of you who don't know what couching is, it's laying down your thread in one movement, like one stitch, and then coming back with little stitches over the top of it to give you the detail, the ability to hold it into position. And you can have those little stitches as close to each other as you like, or as far away from each other, as you like. So I'm going for a sandstone-y sort of tone. I'm pretty sure this is a gum nut yarn. Oh, forgot the knot. And what we might do, instead of running 2 needles, because that's handy when you want to use 2 different colours, I might couch back on itself. So if I can get up here below the whiskers, we'll use the whiskers to break up that line so the cat's sort of in front of the, it's not a cat, it's fudge. So fudge is in front of it. So now I'm going to bring my stitch down like so and then come back up just beside it. And then scoot up there and up there with a couple little stitches. And at this point, sort of decide how far apart are my little holding stitches. And it's looking like they look good at 1/4 of an inch. So now I can come up to the top part. So there's the little stitches holding everything. And I do this stitch. It's going to give it more of a solid look, I think, by doing it like this. Yep. Let's just, I'm catching my bracelet on this bottom section and I don't want to be pulling threads and wrecking anything. So I just need to turn that up. Now the dishwasher's beeping. Seriously? Okay, that's a bit better. So that's that side done. So now you can sort of work out what you're going to do next. I might scoot across and do this line. Now, I want the post of it to have a bit of a curve shape about it. Otherwise, it'll look too static. And couching is lovely because you can lower the thread when it's straight and get a curve. And if we can pull that off, it will have a cylindrical look to that pole. Does that make sense? There we go. Done. Now we'll do the second ring, and once again bring it across. Get that curve happening. It's ever so slight, but it'll make a difference to the piece when you look at that pole. Okay, so now we just couch in those little stitches and that holds it. There we go. Now I'm going to bring the needle up there and I think we'll do that side piece and it's one big stitch. So if you wanted your couching to have a bit of a two-tone effect, imagine how pretty a blue big stitch and then white thread couching it down. Like you can really play with couching. It's a big stitch for Jessie Chorley. She does a lot of it. So if you want to go to even to her Instagram page and just have a look at some of her work. And she'll do, like the chair here, she'll do a heap of little couch stitches close together, then a break, and then again and again with these little breaks. And oh, gee, it's effective. So it's very much her style. There we go. So now that I'm up the top there, I guess my decision is, do I bring the needle down to do this here? How much thread have I got left? So I could jump down there, or I could weave through the back to get there, which is probably the proper way to do it. If Grandma was watching, I would weave through. Now that I'm down here, those of you who do a lot of stitching, you'll know all these tricks, but there's a lot of newbies out there that are joining us, and it's just awesome. Because let me tell you, there's not as many rules as there used to be. It's really good. It's more about enjoying the stitch instead of stressing over what it looks like. It's really helped me to loosen up. It's probably given me more confidence to actually do a YouTube channel because, you know, in the back of my head, I can hear my previous teachers saying, no, that's not right. No, you can't do that. But it's like, it's just, yeah, much better. You can do what you want. And I'd have to thank all of the textile artists that have come before us that have made careers out of it, breaking the rules and using fibres. And you look at their work and going, wow, you know, wow, wow. And now YouTube has allowed us to visit them in their studios. So it's just awesome. Times are a-changing. I wish my grandmother was around to see it because I just know she would be in the middle of all of this. Okay. This is a variegated thread too, so this will be really pretty on this little water feature. I'm going to have to stop the video. We've hit that magic hour. But once again, I've got more time. I'm going to keep stitching. So you will watch the next video tomorrow. But for me, it is Friday and I'm going to keep on stitching. I will visit that washing machine because, you know, one has to put in a small effort. I'm just going to do this line because I can't help myself. I could have come up there and worked back, but it's just more comfortable for me to go from right to left. So I decided to scoot back to where I was and bring my needle up over there and come back to this point. But it's up to you. Okay, I better go. I probably will, those dots in there, I think I'll stay with the thread and we'll do a French knot. Little nodules on the side of the concrete. No use changing colours because it probably is in the mould. Oh my goodness, now I've got a knot. It's in the mould of the concrete. It's not a painted feature. Well, that's my story. I'll just do these few little knots. What's a few minutes? 1, 2, 3. Oh, now I'm rushing. 1, 2, 3. I can hear my phone buzzing too, so I hope I get back to my craft room and the world doesn't suck me out of here. I can hear my husband chatting too in the next room, so maybe this is the end of my Friday. Ho-hum. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's the 3 little bumps. I might end that off because I will need to go higher with my needle. So I might as well just be a good girl and end it. Okay. All right, guys. That is the bottom of that done. Might as well just give it a little iron. Get rid of that red that I know is just hiding below the surface. There we go. Done. So my chunky little base is done, and now it's just this decorative layers here and then the little bird water thing. It's like there's a little thing sitting on top, which I think I'll continue at the moment with this thread, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video because I'll just keep going otherwise, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.